Greetings and salutation. As we say, Jambo, we are here in Marsabit, Northern Kenya. We're in Marsabit because the road to Mars runs through Mars a bit. We are at MWEZI 1 habitat, the only African habitat. We are a lunar analog and we are participating in the world's biggest analog. This is day number 5, I believe. We began October the 13th, and we're here as a collaboration of organizations founded by the Futures Forum, and our habitat facility is called the Open Africa Space Exploration Analog Simulation Initiative. So that's who we are. MWEZI 1 is our mission. So where are we? Again, we are in North Hoare Marsabit. We are in a small town, which is very isolated and is very ideal for the purposes of doing lunar analog. We are actually situated on a site next to our proposed site. We're on the grounds of the Tiga Elementary School, courtesy of the participation of the Gabra people. Specifically, we are being hosted by the people. The Gabra people are the traditional pastoralists who live in this area, and we are really delighted to have an opportunity to share their space in this way. We seem to have lost our habitat. I'm speaking to you from Mission Control. Here at Moon Base, or Lunar Base as we call it, we're two separate structures. One structure is a habitat where we have the isolation protocol for the 8 astronauts who are housed therein. The 8 astronauts consist of 7 astronauts who are part of the Gala Rover Scout crew from Machakos University. And our mission commander is Mary Patience Namugwana, who is from Uganda, currently living in Europe, who has traveled back to Kenya explicitly to support the process of launching the first ever all-African lunar analog habitat. So we are making history. We are making history. And let me say it again, we are making history. So where do we go from here? This press briefing is meant to provide a way for the public to find out about us, and hopefully somebody might join us. If not, it gives us opportunity anyway to make sure we're stirring up for posterity what we have been doing, and for the analog astronauts to go back in time in the future and share this information with their colleagues who may want to know what they have been doing. So here with me in Mission Control, we have Mr. Griffith, who is the team leader or coordinator, if you will, of the Gala Rover Scouts. But on the purposes of this mission, he is supporting us as the science officer, and he will be speaking to you more. I'm going to first of all introduce Mr. Stanley, who is our education and outreach officer. He's been unable to join us for the past few days owing to technical difficulties, but I hope that we have sorted out all our internet challenges. And my colleagues who are active in the space industry assure me that communication difficulties are part and parcel of being a part of the space agenda. And so as Kenya itself begins to build out its satellite capability, somebody like Mr. Griff here, who is an electrical engineering student, no doubt will have some takeaways as to how he might organize his career to support the space industry in Kenya. But that said, let me first ask Mr. Stanley, who is our education outreach officer in the habitat, to say a few words about the habitat. As you can see, our habitat is very similar to where we are. The two facilities are they were built from the same design. The design was a coordinated effort by myself as the founder, along with Mr. Frank Kiptu and others. Frank Kiptu is one of the astronauts. We had support from Michael Nithingia, who is a civil engineering graduate student at Machakos. And then that design was passed over to the Kabete National Polytechnic, who executed the habitat that I'm sleeping in. And I must say, for the record, what is also very significant in our story of creating this very first is that the habitat was constructed by the astronauts by themselves. And I dare say there's no other habitat in the world that can speak to that. So I, for one, as I would call myself the expedition leader, I'm very proud to say that that is part of what we have done. You know how you say in Jamaica, we have to turn our hand like fashion. We are about frugal innovation, and the only way to do it is to do it with what we have. And I think that the benefits of that are is that the students have learned a lot more and are much more being prepared, much more to be excellent at problem solving and innovation, as this project will belong to the Center for Sustainable Futures and Innovation Club at the Machakos University. But again, let me turn the floor to Mr. Stanley. Stanley, could you say a few words about what's happening over at the Habitat and introduce the officer who is seated next to you as well? Thank you. Over.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Claire, for the time you have given unto me here. First and foremost, I'm Stanley Mitira, the Education and Outreach Officer, the MWEZI one of the world's biggest analog astronauts in Africa and in Kenya. Here, I'm glad to say that here in the habitat, we are doing good. At least we are faring on well in this habitat. We are isolated from the people, and it's good being inside here. Today, as you can see, I have the science and research officer here who will be sharing with us one or two things from his side. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Stanley, for the opportunity. So my name is Caleb, the Science Research Officer in the MWEZI Makazi One Habitat. So far, we've been conducting experiments, one of them being the emotional response analysis, the RFSCH and the salutogenesis, which are ongoing. We've also set up some purple air experiments outside there, where I'm coordinating with the science research officer in the MCC to collect the data. The research has been going on well, and we are glad to be conducting something so important in an isolated environment. Thank you.
Okay, so
Let
as
me
you have heard,
ask you a question. So, what's the purpose of the purple air? For people who don't know what purple air, what kind of data is being collected on the purple air, and what are you trying to actually do in collecting that data? What are you trying to compare or to study? Is anybody?
So
Can you answer that?
on the purple air, we are
You want to
collecting
take it, Griff?
the temperatures, the
I think they're frozen. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, this is Griff, the partner to research and science officer. So the purple air
Mission control.
and emission control. So the purple air helps us to get the daily log of the atmospheric climate which is taking place outside. So it helps us to get the temperatures, humidity, particulate matter, volatile, and the wind speed of the climate that is happening at our area. So this is the best equipment that we have that is helping us have the daily sciences that we need, because the purple layer is an equipment that is scarcely found, and we have it. So we are making good of it, and we are so much delighted.
All right. So, let me ask you a question. In terms of your electrical engineer, how is the data stored? Do you have, is it being stored on a hard drive? Is it stored in the cloud? Where's the data stored?
So we have a hard drive, and also we have made some spreadsheet that we're using it to feed the data. So we have made a Google Drive that is helping us to secure the data and have it recorded, so for future use and future recordings.
So, but again, we're here now, and I've noticed myself that there seems to be a shift in the temperature. Does the purple air help you to know if it's going to rain or not? How does it compare to what we're getting from the Weather Service. Have you begun to look at that to see if the data you have tracked since you've gotten here compares what's on the ground, what we're seeing compares to what is the Weather Service saying? Is it comparable, or have you had a chance to actually look at that comparison as yet?
Yeah, we have been able to compare since we are using the purple air and let's say the weather forecast to measurable so that we can see the differentiation between them, and also try to differentiate up to more like 2 days after to see the weather forecast.
But has there been a differentiation? In other words, is the purple air accurate to what the weather is saying, or is the weather accurate to what we're seeing? Is it the same? Is there a big difference? What are you seeing?
Uh, I can say it's accurate, almost accurate, since we have whenever we find like the temperature, we differentiate. It just differentiates maybe if it's 33 from the weather forecast, then for the purple layer we have it at 32, so we have just a small differentiation. Yeah.
Okay. From the perspective of those of you who are in the habitat, could you talk about can any of you yet talk about the experience you're feeling just off the cuff of not being able to go outside at will? So, for example, you have been in there since Monday at midnight. Well, let me rephrase that. Monday at 11:30 p.m., so almost midnight. How many times have you been outside as of now, Caleb, that day?
So for me, I've only gone I've only gone out once.
I am not hearing
Um,
you. Something is wrong with the sound.
can you hear me?
Something is wrong with the sound. I don't know what's going on. The mic is the mic is not muted. If you could speak again, please.
Okay, can you hear Rango again?
I am hearing you now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm hearing you now. So I'm asking you, I know one of the big challenges for the whole analog astronaut movement is to prepare people for isolation. Since you've been inside, how many times have each of you been outside? Do you have an opportunity to go outside every day, or is it staggered every other day or every 2 days? How are you managing the process of going outside, extra vehicular activities, the EVAs?
So
Hello?
on the hello.
Yes. How many times have you gone outside?
So as for me, I've gone outside once for the EVS, but but other people have gone twice. We have a schedule where we'll make sure that at least everyone has gone out twice per week or so.
Okay, so the roster is average twice a week. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Um, and are you also keeping a video log or some kind of a diary or journal of how this compares to what you would normally be doing back at school?
Yeah, there's an experiment called the SSA desalinitogenesis, where we have to be making some daily notes in regard to the experiences and the experiments that we are conducting inside here. So when we get out, we'll have a journal full of statements that explains our experience and everything that we are doing inside here that will help us develop future plans for the isolation programs like this.
Okay. Do you have anything to add, Stanley?
Yes, actually, here in the isolation, I think we have a lot of things to learn. And since day one, since that midnight on Monday, we have been learning more and more each and every time we wake up early in the morning. Like the one we did, the air experiment, which entails the emotional response, how one can deal on matters that arise when he's pissed off, or what when he is provoked. Now that experiment helps us to learn more about the responses there. Then I say the more researchers are there, we are still learning on various ones, and we still learn on many of them, learning each and every time new things and every day. So even furthermore, as even you are inside this
Okay, looks like we're frozen again. We really have had some serious challenges with the internet here. It's something that we actually have been hard to solve, even though, for example, we made the effort to try to identify a source for additional modem to strengthen our capabilities. Literally, there were no modems to be found that we could find, I should say, maybe there are, we could find for sale in the town of Marsabit, which is 2 hours from here. So we're talking about challenges. So I really believe strongly that this destination is really a fantastic destination for people who want to become analog astronauts. And I do hope that in years to come, this crew of young people will be able to, alongside the Girl Guides, and I'm going to bring the Girl Guides into the conversation. This crew of astronauts will be able to get some get some I guess get attached to this idea of really serving to build out the community of analog astronauts in the country of Kenya. We have lost the habitat. I'm going to bring on screen here for Mission Control Miss Agnes Angola, who is here to begin the process of developing the protocol for awarding space badges to the Girl Guides. So talk to me about the different age groups of Girl Guides opportunities. I know you have brownies and Girl Guides, but Kenya seems to have at least 6 different groups, which were all totally new to me. Could you talk to us about that? How are the Girl Guides Association organized?
Thank you very much, Dr. Claire. So in guiding, we work with branches, and our youngest branch is from 3 years to 6 years. And then we have those ones we call the rainbows, and the uniform is red. We have the brownies from 9 years, from, sorry. We have the rainbows from 3 years to 6 years. We call them the rainbows because they're still in the pre-units schools. That's the lowest level of basic education. And then we have the brownies from 6 to 9 years. Those ones are from grade 1 to grade 3. We have the Girl Guides, 10 to 14 years. Those are from the age 10 to 14 years, that the Girl Guides. And right now they also fall under the junior secondary school. And then we have the Ranger Guides. They are from 14 to 18 years. And then we have the young leaders who are from age 18 to 35 years. And then we have the Bravo Guides, who are usually play a key role in resource mobilization and mentorship, age of 35 to 60. So the current, we are working on a space, but that just as Dr. Claire has said. And my coming here to Marsabit has been very, very instrumental, just to come up with activities that we need to have to ensure that a girl earns a badge. And so these activities will range from age of 3 years.
Go ahead.
So the activities will range from age of 3 years up to 60 years, because we want every other guide to participate in issues around the lunar, so that when we have future missions, we have different people coming for these missions, especially the young leaders and the Bravo leaders to be like astronauts. And we also want to start encouraging those who are still young in school, in their school years, to start embracing issues around space, so that as they grow, we'll have like a complete life cycle of people who can be participating in missions. Over to you, Dr. Claire.
And thank you so much. So we're about coming to the end of this session. We have lost MMK. They're back. Let's see if we can add them to the stage and see if we can hear something from them. So we lost you for a while. We're wrapping up. I'm sure you might have some closing words to say. And this was a great opportunity for us to hear from you. We really hope that going forward we can hear from you more again. And we want to, beginning next week, add more channels that we go live to. So I hope we have worked out all the kinks in the system, because really it's very challenging to communicate just right here. I can imagine communicating to people on Earth. So I would want, before I give my cohorts here a closing word, I'd like to ask MMK1 Habitat, MWEZI Makazi 1 Habitat, the opportunity to say any more words, things that you might want to let the public know about your experience so far. We've talked about the issue of the EVA3 and isolation. Anything else you want to add in terms of, and one of the questions I want to ask, even though we're only at day 5, is how could you have been better prepared for what you are going through now in terms of the kind of training we need to develop? They've dropped off again. And maybe you probably can't answer that, but I'm going to have you take a stab at that. How could we have done a better job of developing a training program so that, I mean, you guys are really brave. You guys are being thrust into the live fish, really, to the sharks to be fed. And I think you ought to all commend yourself and really start looking at this experience very differently than you might have. From our perspective as a mission command, mission habitat director, the convener, the founder of this process. I mean, originally when this came to mind, I thought we'd have a much more robust number of, they call it professionals, older students who had interest in being analog. But it very soon became clear to me that most people in Africa don't even know what an analog is, much just to express interest in being an analog astronaut. And I don't think there's very much clarity as to the value of it. So looking from today, and I'm sure I'm going to ask this question several times, but as of today, what do you wish you would have known before you began this journey?
Okay, first of all, I would say that I would know that first the people who are in charge of okay, let's say the astronauts in the world. I didn't know that I didn't know that we could have interacted, let's say like that. Okay, because this is the world's biggest analog. Now this is I wish that I could have been able to know that I could interact, let's say like something like that, and be able to interact with them. Yeah.
Right, but for example, we did run a training. Were you able to attend that training?
Yeah.
What do you think the training helped prepare you for that session? So, folks, we ran a 4-week training called Analog Astronaut 101. It was open to anybody. It was open to the public all across Africa. Only a few people showed up. Do you think that every scout that's participating now should have been there, now that you know what is happening?
Yeah, it's. I think everyone should have participated, since it's very educative on how we could have participated here, even though not everyone is here. It's only 8, but it was very educative, and we are very much in need of so much education on that area.
All right, so MMK1, your closing remarks, please.
Okay, our closing remarks today is like, you people, isolation, I think, is the best thing before we go out. Here in isolation, we learn many things, like dealing with new environments, isolating yourself from people. It's like just a new environment. You're not seeing outside, you are just in a closed area. So you learn how to cope up with such life, and it's just wonderful participating in this isolation. Thank you. Maybe I can give the science and research officer some time to say something.
So as for me, hoping going forward from today, everything is going to work on well. I think our experiments are going to be successful. Introducing the next week I think everything will be good. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Agnes. Yeah.
A question. So, just a quick question. If you are given a chance to stay there, how long can you stay in that isolation?
Actually, since it's our first time,
I can only manage 2 weeks.
I can only manage 2 weeks
The 2
because
weeks.
I'm not used to such life. So 2 weeks, I think, is enough for me. What about you?
Yeah, I can only manage the 2
For you,
weeks.
it's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
These things are gradual.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, any closing words, Miss Agnes Angola of the Kenyan Girl Guides Association?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Claire. For me, I'll say that Machakos University Rovers, this is a very, very big opportunity for you to be the trailblazers, to do both the mission control and also to be in the habitat. I think it's a great privilege that you'll never find this anywhere in the world, and also more so where you've been facilitated like 3/4 of the way. It is a great experience. And Dr. Claire, working with the young people, I think it will be good. It's good because they're going to be the agent of change. This is something that you need to hold dearly and ensuring that going forward, you are the one who is showing people the way. As you can see, Dr. Claire, we don't have girl guides here. We don't have the girl guide team here. And we really wish to learn even more from the scouts, because now they are having it's no longer theory, practical, which is, I can say you are really privileged. And for you also just to give yourselves to participate in this mission, I really congratulate you. This is something that you'll never regret.
Thank you. All right. So with that, folks, we have come to the end of today's press briefing. We're looking forward to seeing some of you this evening when we have a much more open, free-flowing conversation on how we share the moon, implications of analog astronaut research for Kenya, for Africa. How would it play into ensuring that these young people understand how this ties to the careers? We hope to be able to do some futures mapping, personal futures exercises, if I can ever get them to stay still. They're so busy, but I do hope we can get that personal futures mapping exercise done. So they begin to put all of what it seems to be nebulous and all over the place into one story of how their life could evolve and the life that they want to co-create for themselves and as a team for Machakos Rover Scouts and for Machakos University and for the country of Kenya. Because after all, we're both citizens and consumers and communitarians, and each of you as young people have to show up in that way to play your part in building as economic and inclusive and prosperous Kenya. So thank you so much, everybody. I will see you later. All of the Habitat communication team, and hopefully some of you will also join the conversation, philosophical conversation on why analog research and its relevance to your individual future.
Before you close, Dr. Claire, any team that we shall be inviting in the evening? We've had at least research.
Well, in the evening, today's guest will be Dr. Nsombe Jaja. I'm also believing that Jesse Loloa from Nigeria may join, and Dr. Jaja was here in Kenya for the launch of Space on Ghana in 2023. She was here in Marsabit as the first scouting team, so she might have some specific questions to ask about what's happening here, given her, the investment of time she has made in supporting the project so far. She also went with me to Ghana to run the conference there and to Nigeria to run the conference there this year. So she's very well acquainted with what we're trying to accomplish. So her conversation with you guys should be very rich. And she's an accomplished facilitator, accomplished coach. She coaches a lot of young people. I mean, high-level coach. She also coaches senior executives. So it's the kind of person who will be well useful for you to think about that question I asked you. What are you going to be doing in 10 years? Because it's a very important question that I want you to address in the next coming days. Our goal is in the next coming days to have you go through this process, and hopefully we can really make the time to do this together. Okay, so that's it, folks. Until later when we have our common rooms. And again, same place, same time tomorrow on StreamYard. we will have our press briefing. Please note that our common room session will be on Zoom. So see you at 7 p.m. on Zoom. I will have posted this in the Facebook page, so you will see those locations, and hopefully you'll be able to get that also from our LinkedIn page. So without further ado, have a great rest of the day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mwezi kwa nyota.
Bye.
Mwezi kwa nyota.
Kwa mwezi kwa nyota.
Nyota.